Hello, today we will be presenting our work on designing interventions for supporting chefs' sustainable recipe planning practices. We conducted this work in Koç University as a joint work of Hüseyin Genç, Hakan Yilmazer, and Aykut Coskun in IXT Lab. So here is a scenario that probably everyone experienced, whether it be for yourself, for your family or friends. After every breakfast, lunch or dinner meeting, there is bound to be food waste to deal with afterwards. There is a great deal of waste to mitigate these in our households by each individual's efforts. There are even HCI interventions to help people in this regard, such as composting the scraps, planning better meal sizes for a number of people, etc. Interest so far has been on household settings to create awareness as well, yet there is a setting that we don't really look after our food waste. A restaurant is basically a context just like our household setting, with bigger scale, thus bigger impact. Only difference between our household and the restaurant is users aren't totally aware of what's happening behind the doors, which we observe to be a great deal. In this sense, we decided to look upon an underexplored setting in HCI. Through the literature, we accumulated insights regarding where this food waste is coming from, who are the stakeholders in this scenario, how it's managed. We saw that the key figures in these processes are the chefs, since they are the primary decision makers during food preparations in the kitchens. They create recipes, manage the operations of the restaurants, lead the subordinates, and even they may provide consultancy to people who want to set up a new restaurant about its concept and menu creation. We took an approach that guided us towards the menu creation process of the chefs. This was due to two reasons. Firstly, menu items are what determine the whole cooking process, which were an important factor in terms of waste created. Secondly, from a sustainability point of view, it allowed us to deal with the food waste before it was even created by starting from the beginning of the chain. Touching upon these, we focused on three main questions. First, how do chefs work? Second, how do they develop a recipe and a menu? Third, how should a good and sustainable recipe and menu be? We interviewed 10 chefs. 6 of them were female and 4 of them were male. They had a wide range of experience, both in terms of years they have been working and in terms of what kind of cuisines they are working. From these interviews, we gathered our findings in two categories. First, we unwrapped the details of chefs' working practices. Chefs use many different methods in terms of keeping track of and iterating upon their practices, whether it be notebooks, sketchbooks, or even illustrations in some cases. They explained that a visual-based thinking method works better in terms of their creativity. Apart from the method of expression, we also investigated what they are doing in order to create the new menu items. Their methods can be identified under three categories. Banding is the replacement of components from an already existing recipe, like combining presentation of taco with shish kebab cooking of the meat. Blending is the process of creating a new and original recipe by combining the elements of different dishes. For example, a chef took the idea of layered structure from a traditional dessert and reconstructed it using salty pastry, lamb meat, and toasted yogurt. Matching is a method to create a whole new taste. In this method, the most important thing is having harmony between different tastes, for they are starting from scratch with ingredients only. Second, we explain the 4 criteria for a good and sustainable recipe. We determined 4 dimensions that can be guidance and grading criteria for any dish that will be created by the chefs. Again, from the interviews, chefs stressed that seasonality, locality, frugality, and novelty are a must for any chef. These points can be both limiting factors for a chef to consider, for they touch upon many aspects that any successful dish should consider, like the environmental impact, cost, or uniqueness. Also, by taking these into consideration, chefs can guide their creativity and inspirations, allowing them to develop further upon the aspects of their choosing. Collecting all of these points, we designed the conceptual system, which had three-step user scenario. First, using tangible knobs to create the recipes. Second, evaluating the recipe according to the 4 dimensions. And third, getting feedback and suggestion about the ingredients. Our concept would give instantaneous feedback to chefs regarding each ingredient or preparation method they added to the recipe, rating the recipe in terms of these 4 dimensions and providing potential adjustments by swapping ingredients to achieve better results. We had several design considerations in designing KNOBIE, both coming from literature and from our explorations and chef interviews. Firstly, KNOBIE had to support collaborative work, which was due to collaborative nature of kitchen environments with many different chefs working together. Secondly, recipe planning is not a one-off attempt. KNOBIE had to allow chefs constantly add new knowledge and experiences to their personal inventory to support them during any inspiration moment. Finally, it had to encourage physical interactions with chefs that are already used to. Culinary arts are a field that one must work with their hands a lot, which allows them to tinker around whilst working. It also promotes chefs' visual senses too, which they did by using sketches beforehand. In this work, we make the following contributions to the literature. Firstly, we provide an account of chefs' food preparation practices from a sustainability view. Secondly, we present the recipe and menu planner designed based on this account. Finally, we are sharing the design considerations for this artifact for further research. Thank you for participating in this session. If you have further questions or discussions, you can contact us via email.